Hi, I'm Charlotte Donlon. I am a writer, spiritual director, and host of Art and Faith Unplugged podcast and website. My first book is The Great Belonging: How Loneliness Leads Us to Each Other. And I'm doing a video series that's like a sneak peek or behind the scenes, is really the phrase I'm looking for, a behind the scenes view of each chapter of the book. There are a lot of chapters of the book. They're short. And they're fantastic. If you think that it sounds like a book you might appreciate or enjoy, you can check it out of your library. You can call your public library and ask them to stock it so that you can check it out. You can buy a copy. You can borrow a copy from a friend who might have it. You can buy it and read it and then loan it to a friend who might want to read it. Lots of options out there. So chapter 8 is called Befriended by the Ordinary. And the last chapter, chapter 7, was about my first manic episode. I live with bipolar disorder. You can watch that video if you haven't watched it yet. This one is about recovering from my second manic episode. And it's about how engaging in ordinary rituals and rhythms helped me recover and what that looked like during that season of life. And I began to pay more attention and be more intentional about noticing the ordinary, the mundane, and the value of the ordinary and the mundane when my kids were really little. So I actually might have been pregnant with my son when this happened, but I had some friends from church who were all reading Kathleen Norris and The Cloister Walk and Quotidian Mysteries. And so I began reading those books and got into Benedictine spirituality a little bit, reading about that. And being, valuing the ordinary is kind of a huge theme in Kathleen Norris's work and in Benedictine spirituality. And those things really helped me be a mother. Like, they helped me survive motherhood, because so much of being a mother is just like the daily ritual, doing the things over and over and over again. And for a long time, I kind of was frustrated by that. Like, I wanted things to be a little more exciting and less ordinary. And then I began to embrace it because it settles me and it helps me, find my place. It grounds me. Being aware of the ordinary and like embracing the ordinary helps me navigate my days. And I don't know if that's because I live with mental illness or not, or just because I'm a mom or not, or just because I'm a human. But engaging those ordinary rhythms really were a huge part of how my recovery went from my second manic episode and period of depression in 2011. And also, that's when I started writing. So my therapist at the time, Julie Sparkman, basically told me I was a writer before I knew I was a writer, or before I was willing to admit it. Those of us who start writing later in life, I think, have more trouble naming it and speaking it aloud to other people. So at one of my therapy sessions with her while I was recovering from this manic episode, and I think I was pretty much in the throes of depression, she was like, "Charlotte, you're a writer. I know you're a writer. You know you're a writer. I want you to write for 15 minutes every day. That's your assignment." That's like, she had already told me that my part-time job was to recover and to navigate my health and self-care in a way that would prevent me from having future manic episodes, because a lot of my mental illness is wrapped up and triggered by like super intense and stressful situations. By the way, like, I didn't have any mania for several years until the pandemic. So summer of 2020, I had some mild mania and was able to address it quickly with certain medications so it didn't explode. But when you have bipolar disorder, it's always a possibility that you'll have mania or depression. Anyway, all that to say, Julie told me to write for 15 minutes every day. So on August let's see, I must have been depressed because this was in 2012. It was April 6th of 2012. I created a new document, a Word document, and just started writing for 15 minutes. I didn't do it every day, but I would say most days. And a lot of the time I would go longer than 15 minutes because I was there doing it and I had things I wanted to write. A lot of what I wrote in that document is trash, like terrible first draft stuff. And I mean, in many places, I'm like, I don't know what's right. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's right. But I was trying to get to that 15-minute mark and like do what my therapist told me to do because I knew it was good for me and I knew I was a writer and I wanted to write more. But I still have that document and I still pull things from it. Like there are things in this book that like started in that document. So a lot of people who want to write and, ask me my advice. I mean, that's the first thing I tell them. I'm like, if you're not writing, you need to write. Like writers write, writers also read. And you can read this book if you want to be a writer. So 15 minutes isn't a long time. And you don't have to know what you're writing when you sit down. You can just like start typing and you can type, I don't know what to write for 15 minutes. And then when your timer goes off, you can get up and go do something else. Or maybe some idea will come and you will write something that you want to write and that you want to process and you want to go longer than 15 minutes and you have the time to do it. I tell people to write for 15 minutes most days, not every day, because if I personally feel like I have to do something every day, or I say I'm going to do something every day and then I miss a day, I feel like a terrible person when I miss that day. So I like to say, write for 15 minutes most days. I love Natalie Goldberg's books. If you want writing prompts and you want like more structure of like what to write about, if you like to write memoir, I always recommend Old Friend from Far Away. There's some great prompts in there, and it may not seem like a great prompt, but it is. I don't remember if it's that book, but in one of her books, she has a prompt about Jell-O, and it's basically like Jell-O, write everything you know about Jell-O for at least 10 minutes, go. And I gave that prompt to a client. I do like writing doula work, like help people with their writing, wherever they are in their writing process. And I gave that prompt to a few different clients. And I swear one client wrote the most beautiful essay about Jell-O that I've ever read. And of course it wasn't about Jell-O, it's about other things too. But it was very much about Jell-O also. And that's what, I like writing prompts. I know some people think they're dumb or whatever, but I always write stuff that I didn't know was in me when I have a really good writing prompt. So, yeah, there's some more writing advice. There's a video a few back that had some writing advice. If you don't write and you want to write for 15 minutes a day. If you don't write and don't want to write, but you believe writing is valuable for just processing your life and spirituality and different things, then you can journal for 15 minutes every day. And even use those prompts for journaling. Just, you don't have to call it writing. It can just be journaling. And there's all kinds of studies out there that show how journaling and writing like benefit us and benefit our health in many ways. So I recommend it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But if you want to, that's an easy way to start. All right. That's all. That was a quick behind the scenes look at chapter 8, Befriended by the Ordinary, along with some writing advice unsolicited, I think is the word I'm looking for. You can learn more about me and my writing and my work at charlottedonlon.com and at writinglifespiritualdirection.com and at artandfaithunplugged.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Charlotte Donlon, although you will find the best of what I write, make, and offer in my book, on my websites, in my podcasts, and in my spiritual direction offerings. Also, you can subscribe to my email newsletter if you want, charlottedonlon.substack.com. I send out 5 good things every Sunday. It's always short and it's always sweet. Or I think it's short and sweet. All right. Thanks so much for watching these videos. I hope you enjoy it. And if The Great Belonging looks like something you might want to read, I hope you buy it. All right.